Ghana, the Black Stars of Ghana, are on the brink of a FIFA World Cup 2026 qualification spot. Many people surprised, they didn't even qualify for the AFCON for the first time since 2004, but they look to be making back-to-back FIFA World Cups. And you know what's even better for Ghana if they qualify? The fact that Nigeria probably won't. I think that's what's making them even happier. So Ghana in Group I, as we know, match days 9 and 10 are coming thick and fast in early October. Ghana are 19 points, 3 points clear of Madagascar, 4 points clear of Comoros. But the significance of their win last time out against Mali means that Mali, who I think, and many people thought, were going to be Ghana's closest competitor in this group, the team that were in pot 1, remember Ghana are a pot 2 side in this group. Mali cannot finish first. So Mali will be at it as much as they can to get a second place playoff spot. And of course, Mali, a country that have never played a FIFA World Cup in their history. One of those cursed sides, Mali, Burkina Faso, even Congo recently, just can't get a qualification spot to save their life. Ghana lead Madagascar by 3. That is their closest competitor. It's in Ghana's hands. They know what they've got to do. They've got to win both games or take one win and one draw. And obviously that's assuming the other sides win as well. Ghana, they play Central African Republic away, but that will be in a neutral location, I believe in El Jadida, I think, in Morocco, which is good news for Ghana. And also the fact that Central African Republic haven't got anything to play for. And then they play Comoros in Accra. And you might think, well, they're at home and they should win comfortably. Ghana's bogey team in the last 3 to 4 years has been Comoros. The one team Ghana don't want to play is Comoros. Comoros beat Ghana at the AFCON to knock them out in the group stage in Cameroon. Even in this group early on, Comoros beat Ghana. Now, Comoros obviously got tonked by Mali by a few goals last few weeks ago. But Comoros are going to have something to play for most probably because they are still not only in a reach for second place spot, but they could also get a top spot. But the good news for Ghana is that before Ghana host Comoros, Comoros are going to be playing against Madagascar. So the two teams that are Ghana's closest competitors, Comoros and Madagascar, face off each other. So at least one, if not both, if they draw, will drop points. And of course, Mali can no longer catch Ghana. And if you told Ghana you've got to race against Madagascar and Comoros to get to the World Cup via the first spot, they would have absolutely taken it. So even though when you look at that table and you see Madagascar and Comoros breathing down the Ghanaians' neck, I would not be shocked if Mali came second, because Mali played Chad, and I know Ghana drew to Chad, but listen, Mali will beat Chad, and they've got Uncle Tom. I do love Uncle Tom, who I actually think wants to manage Ghana at the World Cup in this weird dimension. Anyway, Ghana have got to make this World Cup. They've got no AFCON, and I think they will. But Mali will beat Chad. That'll put Mali on 15 points. And then after that, Mali will host Madagascar. So Madagascar have got to play Comoros and Mali. I don't think Madagascar are going to win another game. So I think Ghana are pretty much there even before a ball is kicked. I don't think Madagascar are going to win another game. They're playing Comoros. And in the last game, Ghana are playing Comoros. So I'm going to predict that Mali, out of the blue, will win against Chad, will win against Madagascar, and they'll get second. Now, I don't know if 18 points, which is what they'll get, I don't know if that's going to be enough for a playoff spot. But I think Mali gets second, and I think Ghana are going to be very comfortably on their way to the FIFA World Cup. The problem for Ghana is, and Cape Verde are the only other nation really that can relate to this as well, is that they're not going to AFCON. So the bulk of the sides that will make the World Cup, apart from maybe Cape Verde and Ghana, they're going to make the World Cup, but they're not going to have an Africa Cup of Nations. An AFCON is potentially seven tournament matches plus 2 pre-tournament friendlies. That's 9 less games they're going to have to warm up for the World Cup, potentially, because you look at, for example, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, whatever, Tunisia, all these sides are going to play an AFCON, they're going to do warm-up games, they're going to play top-level competitive football at this tournament in Morocco. Ghana aren't going to do that. Ghana are going to play these 2 qualifiers in October, which I think are going to be fairly comfortable for them. They're going to play a couple of friendlies in November, like everyone else will, and they're going to have December off. They're going to be watching the Christmas movies, the Christmas films, they're going to be putting the Christmas trees up, having their Christmas jollof. They're not going to be playing any games. So after November, Ghana's next games are going to be in March. That's 4 months without playing. And you look at the other African contenders at this World Cup, and they're going to have an AFCON to play. So I think that's going to massively disadvantage Ghana, but of course we are thinking quite ahead there. Ghana have seriously got to think about building a team. If they want to get Hudson-Odoi, if they want to get Eddie Nketiah, they've got to do it now, because I cannot see the next available opportunity they're going to do it. Nketiah and Hudson-Odoi, you know, at Palace and at Forest. When they were at Chelsea and Arsenal, it's different. But now at Palace, at Forest, they're players Ghana can get. Like when Tariq Lamptey left Chelsea for Brighton. You know, Lamptey was very easily available to switch. I want to see Hudson-Odoi and Nketiah play for Ghana. I'm not saying they've got to start. I don't know if Inaki Williams has done enough to be a good starter. I think Kudus and Semenyo are two fantastic attacking talents. You know, let's say Ghana play a 3 attackers behind 1 forward. Kudus and Semenyo are locked in for 2. At the moment, it's kind of like Jordan Ayew and Inaki or Sulemana. Sulemana's a good player as well. If you put an Nketiah and a Hudson-Odoi alongside a Semenyo and a Kudus, I think they revolutionise Ghana's team. I really do. I think there's some good talents there. I think they've got to decide on their number 1 goalkeeper. I think they've got to keep Tariq Lamptey fit. They've got to get a centre-back partnership with Jiku and someone else, because it's always changing. A bit of consistency in that side. Ghana have got to lock in and get their team ready, because, you know, it's a shame about the whole AFCON situation, but I think Ghana are in a very comfortable position, and I think we'll come back to this if I'm right or wrong. I think Mali are going to get second, and I think Madagascar and Comoros are probably not going to win another game. I could see Madagascar and Comoros doing a draw, and then Ghana beating Comoros. See Madagascar doing a draw to Comoros, Madagascar losing to Mali match day 10. So, you know, good news for Ghana. You know, the result against Chad was terrible in match day 7, but beating Mali was huge. It was a 6-pointer really. If they lost to Mali, it would have been a disaster. Even if they drew to Mali, they'd have kept Mali in the hunt. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.